Hi there, Jean Greer here at Stylish Fireplaces. Today we're talking about how to compare electric fireplaces to gas fireplaces when we're looking at heat output. So one of the first questions we ask when someone isn't sure which way to go, electric versus gas, is how much heat do you need? And often they'll tell us, well, we really don't need heat, but we want a nice fireplace. We like the ambiance. You really seriously have to consider whether you should go gas if you don't need heat. So let's think about where the flames are coming from on an electric and a gas fireplace. On the electric fireplaces behind me, those flames are generated with LED lights, and it's a sort of an illusion that's created with light. The heater is a separate thing. It's a separate place in the fireplace. The flames are not the source of heat. That is not a burner on an electric fireplace. There's nothing burning. The flames are a bit of an illusion created with lights. The heater is a separate element with a blower, and the heat and the flames operate independently. So I can have flames without heat any time of the year, or I can turn on the heater and on 120 volts, which all electric fireplaces will connect to, the heater will give me 5,000 BTUs max in terms of heat output. Well, what is 5,000 BTUs? We equate 5,000 BTUs to warm up about a 400 square foot area. So think about how many rooms in your home are bigger than 20 by 20 feet. Most of us would have a basement that's bigger than that, but there's not a lot of main floor spaces where you would have more than 400 square feet. And how many of those spaces need extra heat? How many of those spaces are not getting enough heat from the furnace in your home? So that's what you want to think about. If you really don't need heat in the place that you're trying to put the fireplace, then you have to think about what you would get from a gas fireplace versus electric. So with a gas fireplace, the source of heat is the burner. The burner produces the flame that you see. So if you see flame, there is heat present. You can never have a flame without some amount of heat. And you can control that to some extent by adjusting the burner, but eventually you're going to get a very small flame to get the heat down to a certain level, and even then it may be more heat than you need in the space, and you're not going to have a very nice looking fire as a result. There's always a minimal amount of heat being produced. So there's a limit to how many days of the year you would actually be able to turn that gas fireplace on without having too much heat in the room. So we talked about electric being 5,000 BTUs max in terms of the heat output. With gas, a small gas fireplace would typically be 15 to 20,000 BTUs, and many of the linear styles are going to have more BTUs than that. But let's talk about the small ones, just for comparison. So with 5,000 BTUs on an electric fireplace heats up 400 square feet, 15,000 BTUs on a small gas fireplace is heating up 1,200 square feet. The problem is we rarely put it in a room that is that big. So where is that heat going? It's trapped in that room. Heat doesn't turn corners and move into other rooms. There's no way for that heat to really travel around the house. So it's not practical to say, well, we'll use it to heat up the house. If it's in a certain room, the heat is all trapped in that room, and it's probably more than you need. And that's a small gas burner. As you get into linear fires like the ones you see behind me, on a gas fireplace, that longer fire has a longer burner. That means you're burning more gas. That means you're getting more heat. So in order to have a big gas linear fireplace like the ones you see behind me, which are electric, a gas fireplace is going to pump out a lot more heat than a small gas burner would. So you've suddenly got way more heat than you want in that space that you're putting it into. And so with gas, if you see flame, you've got heat, you have a little bit of control over it, but you always have heat to see a flame, which means you are limited to how often you can use that fireplace in your room. With electric, if I see flames, it's got nothing to do with the heat output. If I want heat, I turn the heater on. If I don't want heat, I don't have to turn the heater on, but I always can see the flames. So big differences between electric and gas fireplaces in terms of heat output, and the most important difference in terms of what you will experience in the room if you have one or the other type of fireplace. So that's where we're going to start when we compare electric versus gas fireplaces. You can find more information on how to compare them on our frequently asked questions and at our stylish blog at stylishfireplaces.ca.